so difficult getting so many people into one room because of all of our busy schedules. So I really appreciate you being here. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Amber Longoria. I served in the United States Navy from 2002 to 2006 as a Spanish linguist. My story is not the easiest, and I like to joke sometimes that I am the Murphy's Law of veterans. Anything that I could possibly do wrong, I definitely did it. Well, everybody goes through a program, or they're supposed to go through a program after they get out of the military, where you learn about all the benefits of being a veteran and where to go and who to talk to. But when I got out of the military, I didn't get that luxury. I ended up they tried to recruit me to be in the FBI because I had a top secret security clearance. So I didn't learn about all of the possibilities and all of the help that I possibly could have gotten. So it was rough getting out. And one of the things that made it rough getting out was the fact that there was a stigma of veterans getting out and not using their veteran power to be self-sustaining human beings. It was very frowned upon if you got out of the military and ended up going back and living with your parents because, well, what's wrong with you? You're a veteran. You should be able to get a job. You should be awesome. People should be swinging doors open for you because you have all these wonderful skills. I had the top secret security clearance. I spoke a different language. Why shouldn't I have the greatest job? But that's not the reality of the situation. When I got out of the Navy, I got out in 2006, right before the housing crisis. I was stationed in San Antonio, Texas, and due to my ego and my pride, I refused to leave that area because I would not go home to my family, and I refused to wave the white flag of my adulthood and go and live with them and be dependent again. I couldn't do it. I didn't know that I was eligible for unemployment. That's a big thing. That's something I should have probably known about. But I didn't know about it. So I didn't use that resource. And after 2 months of being out and going through my savings, I ended up living in my car. I didn't tell anybody in my family. I refused to tell my family because I didn't want to hear the please come home. Please come back. No, I'm a veteran. I need to rise above this. I'm not going to let this get me down. I refuse to ask for help. So as I lived in my car, I would drive down, when I had the gas, I would drive downtown San Antonio to the plasma place where I would stand in line for maybe 2-3 hours and donate plasma. And thanks for the plasma place, I ended up getting maybe $25, $30. And I put a little food in my tummy, buy me a pack of cigarettes because it saves the hunger, and then I would put a little bit of gas in my car, and I would drive to every temp agency in the city of San Antonio and beg for a job. When you talk about putting your feet to concrete and getting out there and working all of the stores, I actually would go and print out hundreds of resumes, and I would start at the end of one major street, and I would go to every single business on that major street, and I would walk all the way down, and I made sure that I filled out those applications, because that's what they told us to do, right? Don't walk away with an empty application, fill it out right there. It didn't matter. I wasn't very educated on economics. I didn't understand the implications of what was going on with our housing crisis. There were no jobs. So I lived in my car. I didn't tell my family. I didn't have a phone anymore, so anytime I called anybody, thank God for phone booths. Those things still existed back then in 2006. Do they still exist now?
Oh, yeah.
Those are very important, but anyways. So thankfully, I would save up what little change I had and I'd put it away. My friends would beg me, please go get food stamps. Please contact the churches. Please call this organization and that organization. And every organization I called, they said to me, you are an able-bodied young woman. There is no way we can help you. You don't have dependents. You don't have somebody with disability. You don't have an elderly person. And to be quite honest with you, the depression of that situation didn't hit because I was too busy trying to hustle, trying to find a place to live, trying to find food, trying to get a job, trying to be an outstanding citizen, trying to be a good veteran. But I was failing because what I didn't understand about independence is that you can't be independent alone. So my friend convinced me to use my GI Bill. I didn't think I was very smart, so I never intended to use it. I was hoping to give it to an offspring of mine someday. But she said, you can't find a job. They'll pay you a monthly stipend. So I applied for school, and luckily for me, I don't remember how I met this little old lady. She was a mother of a Marine who was in the Vietnam War, and he lost his life there. And something moved her, and something, her spirit, and she looked at me and she said, I can't in good conscience allow one of our veterans to be homeless. I own property. If I allow you to move into one of my apartment units, will you promise me that you'll do right by both of us and get a job and start paying me rent? And for the first time being homeless and hungry, oh God, I was hungry. I was so hungry, I used to like fiend for Taco Bell. Taco Bell's cheap. Like I used to be like, can I have some Taco Bell? So I did. I moved into this unit. I'm a stand-up person. I knew I wasn't going to do her wrong, and I moved into her apartment unit, and that night my car got repossessed. Luckily for me, the community college that I applied to was 2 blocks away from the apartment building, so that worked out. And I went to school. I went to San Antonio Community College, and I did very poorly. But I did good enough that I didn't get kicked out for bad grades, and that's how I started the journey of getting back on my feet and taking care of myself. And let's fast forward about 8 years, because I ended up back here, or not 8 years, but maybe 6. I ended up here in Colorado. This is where I was born. I was born in Denver General Hospital. This is where my family's at. And I didn't know anybody. I've gotten the housing part down. I've gotten getting a job down. But where was my community? They were nowhere. Nobody would talk to me at school unless it was because of the school project, because they didn't know me. And to get to know somebody is to put effort into somebody, and that's not something they wanted to do. And this is where the depression came in. Once I have solved my basic Maslow hierarchy of needs, now I needed to take care of the emotional part, the mental part. But nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. They were too busy living their lives. What's one more person I have to cater to and look at and talk to? And I was so depressed. It was so hard because I didn't have anybody to relate to. I had nobody to talk to. Nobody would give me their Facebook, because we don't give phone numbers anymore. So I wasn't good enough for Facebook, so I wouldn't have any Facebook friends. And I was just so incredibly lonely that I would just go to school, do my work, and go back to my place and just be alone with the worst person ever. And that's my thoughts. I call it a person because it feels like somebody I have to drag around. But I was stuck with my thoughts. And when you're stuck with your thoughts and you have nobody up to break through those conversations between you and yourself, it gets really dicey. And it got to the point where I was crying so much. I mean, just thinking about it, my chest hurts, and I'm trying not to cry now because I can just remember feeling so incredibly empty. I had nobody would understand me. Nobody would care. They didn't care. Nobody, you tell them, and they say they care. Oh yeah, I'll be there for you. But when you really needed them, where were they? My mom didn't understand what was going on. My family had their own things going on. And so, what was I going to do? And I would just lay there on the floor and I would cry. Not in bed because it was too warm. and on the floor. If you're going to be depressed, you want to be on the floor. But I would just lay there and cry and cry and cry. Well, what is wrong with me? What is so inherently wrong with me? Do they know that I'm evil inside? Is that what it is? Do they see that monster that I harbor inside of me? Is that why they won't talk to me? Not even get a cup of coffee with me? So one day I checked my school email, and it was from the Veteran Student Organization, or not organization, Veteran Student Office. And they had invited me to the barbecue. And I said, finally, I have found my dream. Sorry. So I went to this barbecue, and I was met by Cameron Cook and Ashley Metcalf, and they were the most welcoming people that I could ever meet. And I was so desperate for positive reinforcement and positive attention that I just latched on to Ash. He was such a good person, and I wanted to be just like him. Because everybody loved Ash, and I wanted to be loved like him. And so from there, he helped me become the secretary of the Student Veteran Organization. And from there is when I started to grow as a person, because I found a new mission, my fellow veterans. And one of the biggest things that really mattered to me is to make sure that any veteran who stepped on CU Denver's soil would never feel the way I did when I got there. But they would never feel alone and unwanted. So I spent 3 years making sure that I had joined every student organization on that campus. And then I made sure that I sat right next to the door in the office of the veteran student office, and I sat there, and every veteran who came in to apply for their benefits and apply for school, I was right there. I was the face they saw, because I wanted to make sure that they knew that I wanted them, that somebody in this campus wants you. It wasn't easy. I mean, I got bullied, and it happens, being an adult and getting bullied. I was bullied by some of the other veterans in the office. I don't know why. They didn't really know me. They didn't bother to get to know me. But my mission was bigger than their approval.
All right now.
So, they made it hard, but thankfully, for Izzy Abbas, took me under his wing, and I started working for AmeriCorps as a Student Veteran Success Coordinator. So I started working with him in Boots to Suits, and thankfully to him, he helped me find the confidence that I needed to overcome all the negative energy and stick to my mission and make sure that nobody got in my way. So through him, I met VFW Post 1. Yep. And even though I'm not eligible to be a member, they have been so wonderful to me. They've made sure that anytime I needed help with any of my events that I threw for my veterans, they were there. And they made sure that if I needed funding, they helped. When I wanted to get in shape, I joined Team Red, White, and Blue.
All right.
Yep.
I was at one point the official walking captain, the screw running. I'm not trying to run anymore. Josie, is it an emergency?
Is there cake?
I made it interesting, I tell you. But I joined Team Rubicon because I wanted to volunteer and make a difference in my community by physically getting out there. But then I pinched a nerve and my sciatic nerve, and that just killed that. But I still love them, and I still promote them, and I still tell any veteran who wants to do good in their community about their good work. So I stand here today. I started off alone thinking I was being an independent adult, and I learned that independence means having the bravery to look and ask for the help that you need. And I try to make sure that when I help other veterans, that they understand that it's okay to ask for help. It's not embarrassing. If you need mental health, that's okay. I have mental problems too. I get up every day, I tell people about it on Facebook, I share my experiences, and I keep doing it and I keep going. They're not alone, they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones who laid on the floor and cried. They're not the only ones who contemplated ending their lives. I've been there. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be lonely. I know what it's like when nobody really wants to help you. And thank God that I came to Colorado, because ever since I got here and I got to meet all these wonderful organizations, I finally realized that I'm not alone. And then when I talk to other veterans, and even though I can't help them for my program, I know many other people who are willing to get up and help them for me.
All right now.
Woo!
So I really appreciate you guys coming out here, because there are some more programs in here which I don't know how I don't know about you, because I have spent many, many years putting together a huge network to make sure that if there's a veteran organization out here that I knew about it, because I am not omnipotent and I don't have the power to make everything happen, but I know that I know somebody who does.
All right.
So, I also want to thank VFW Post 1, because there have been several times in my life as an adult where I didn't have money for groceries, and even though I'm not a member, they showed up for me.
That's one.
And I want to thank Team Red, White, Blue, because when I was depressed and I didn't want to get out of the house and I didn't want to deal with anybody, I just wanted to wallow and, just not be a part of the community, they show up and they pick me up and they would have me go walk with them.
Woo!
I forgot to tell you guys that I work for the VA hospital. I'm a program support assistant for the homeless veteran program, which is wonderful because that is my dream, to help my veterans, my brothers and my sisters. And if it wasn't for all of the people in this room, and some in particular who worked hard to make sure to mentor me, to groom me, to help me build my resume and my work history, I wouldn't be able to make my dream come true. And what's great is that my dream helps other people's dreams come true. And your guys' dreams will help other people's dreams come true. And I know it's hard, and I know it gets taxing, and I know it feels like it's fruitless at a lot of points, but all you take is one time you make somebody a veteran who is sobbing at your door because they're at their wits' end and there are no answers. And the moment you get them to crack a smile, you won. So, I want to thank you guys again. And before I start crying again, I'm going to. But thank you guys. Thank you for having me.